Week 22, Sunday. A reading from the Sermons of Saint Augustine. The Lord has had mercy on us. Happy are we if we put into practice what we hear and sing. For our hearing is a sowing of seed, and our actions the fruit of that seed. Having said this, I would warn you, beloved brothers, against coming into church fruitlessly, hearing such good tidings, but not producing good works. By God's grace, as the Apostle says, we have been saved, not because of works, lest any man should boast. For by His grace you have been saved. There was no previous virtuous life which God could cherish and love from on high, so as to say, let us help and succor these men, for they are living a good life. Our life was displeasing to Him. Everything in us that was of our doing was displeasing to Him. But what He Himself did in us was not displeasing. So He will condemn what we did, but will save His own work in us. We were not virtuous then, but He had mercy on us and sent His Son to die, not for the virtuous, but for the ungodly, not for the good, but for the wicked. Christ died for the ungodly. And what follows? Why, one will hardly die for a righteous man, though perhaps for a good man one will dare even to die. Perhaps someone might be found to die for a good man, but who, with the sole exception of Christ, who is so holy as to be able to bring justification even to the unrighteous, would be willing to die for the ungodly and the wicked? So, brethren, we had no good works, but only evil. But although men's deeds were such, God in His mercy did not abandon men. He sent His Son to redeem us, not with gold or silver, but at the cost of shedding His blood. The spotless lamb was led to the slaughter on behalf of the tainted sheep, if indeed they were merely tainted and not completely infected. We received this grace. Let us live in a manner befitting the grace which we have received, so as not to spurn such a favor. A great physician has come to us and forgiven all of our sins. If we prefer to be ill again, we shall not only harm ourselves, but be ungrateful to that physician. Let us follow his ways then, as he has shown them to us, particularly that of humility, since he became himself that way for us. He showed us the way of humility by his counsels and followed it by suffering for us. The Word was incapable of dying, but in order to be able to die for us, he became flesh and dwelt among us. The Immortal One took on mortality to die for us, and by his death to destroy ours. The Lord did this. He gave us this boon. Though he was great, he was humbled. Being humbled, he was put to death. Put to death, he rose again and was exalted. And so, he will not leave us among the dead. As in this life, he has raised us up in our faith and confession as just men, so he will raise us up in himself in the resurrection of the dead. He gave us humility as a way. If we follow it, we shall give thanks to the Lord and sing with good reason. We give thanks to you, O God. We give thanks and call on your name.